Good morning, everyone. It is 4 o'clock a.m. on Monday, December 21st, 2015. Oh my goodness, it's 5 days before Christmas, and I almost want to say something bad, but like it means absolutely nothing to me. I'm up because I got up about 3 o'clock to use the restroom. Then I started working on some personal quote unquote projects. In doing so, I had to check my texts. I haven't checked them in a few days because I'm not expecting any texts from anyone. But I did see that, again, my account has been hacked. I'm going to tell y'all, and it's the Google Voice account that's been hacked. I changed the password, but um, after I changed the password, after I changed the password, this person is still sending texts from my Google Voice account. So what ends up happening? I told this guy previously I usually only use that number for work related, and I don't even use it for erotic prose, but I was starting to with this person. But I only use it usually for work related. But what happened was that when I met this guy, it was a few days ago, met him on the way back. Um, it was before I was terminated. And this is when I was talking to that old man. Remember how I told you the young guy was there? And I was like, I have no idea why he would want to be talking to me. But but anyhow, so he was trying to get my phone number, and I was like, I don't give out a phone number because I don't give out a phone number, and I needed to start people out telling people I don't have a phone, which really technically I don't. I have a phone number that I use for business purposes, but what? So I was telling him I'll give him my kick because that's where I put these little sidebar conversations and whatever, you know just kick. That's fine, and so he was starting to create a kick for me, and he was showing me, he was sitting beside me the whole time, that his battery was going dead. I don't know if he was intentionally being stupid about it, but I don't think he was. He might have been, I don't know. But he was trying to set up the kick, and different things kept happening. Like he kept telling him the username could not be used because it was already used, and all kinds of stuff. Then finally, in the middle of him trying to set up the kick, his battery went completely dead. And so he seemed like an alright guy. Again, I was intrigued because, I mean, why was I intrigued? It was just because he was young and he was handsome and intelligent, and he didn't seem like his hormones were just like out of pocket. It was just a new person to explore that was fairly attractive. If nothing else, somebody to exercise with. You know what I'm saying? Share thoughts with, that type of thing. So I was like, cool, no problem. I'll give you both. So I gave him my name, my first name. I gave him my phone number just in case for some reason he had a problem setting up the kick. And I gave him my kick. All right. So it was no issue. I thought our conversation was kind of weird, so I really didn't see it going anywhere. But I was just like, well, with anything, I try to find a purpose. So I said, well, you know, I like to find out about people, and sometimes I do what I call my own little um, question and answer series about different things about life, my little investigative stuff. And so I was like, fine. So I asked him, what did I ask this guy? Um, and he's still texting me. I'm not sending nothing else to him. Um, okay. So I asked him, was it okay, before I got the information, because I knew that's what it was going to be about. I was just like, okay, are you okay with me asking very personal questions with needing very specific answers? He was like, yeah, sure, blah, blah, blah. Because basically that's what the majority was going to be, question and answer. So when I got an opportunity, I was going to let the communication flow spontaneously, but it wasn't a good flow. So I went back to that and I asked him, I was like, do you mind if I ask you, again, I would like to answer you a series of questions that are very personal, that are very direct, and require very honest, specific answers. And I'm going to ask them quiz style. So it'll be almost like an interview, the quiz style. Is that okay with you? And he says, yeah, sure, that's okay. And so I started to ask him the questions, but then I saw that he was like avoiding, you know. And so then he would ask me the question back in return. But he would ask, and I was very specific and direct about my responses. But I wanted to make sure it was clear that this was not a casual conversation, that this was basically an interview, not even an interview session, but me asking a bunch of questions. That's what it was, period. And so then, when I asked him to deliberate on an answer that I gave, and I went back, and he saw that I was methodically going back to those questions, it made him uncomfortable because he was just like, I guess he figured maybe I was trying to entrap him or something. I wasn't. You have a right not to answer. And so then he's like, who is this? And then I started seeing, that's when I saw that somebody typed something in Spanish, like, do you want to, whatever, in Spanish. And I explained that in my account was hacked video. But, so I told him, I was like, hey, whatever's in Spanish, I'm not typing it. I think somebody hacked my account. And I just put, hey, and he was like, who is this? Is this such and such? And my name happens to sound like a Spanish name. So maybe he didn't think it was anything unusual. He didn't know what it meant, but it didn't matter. And I was like, hey, English is me, Spanish is someone else. I believe this is a few days ago. This is like a couple days ago. I believe my account has been hacked. I'm working on changing my passwords now. If you do not want further questions, because I saw the questions were making him uncomfortable, let me know immediately. Absent a affirmative response, I will assume that you do not want any more questions. Thanks. And he was just like, why are you asking me these types of questions? He was getting suspicious, whatever. And I said the same reason that anyone asks any, because I ask very direct questions. He says, and I asked him about some very personal questions about his dating habits, and they were very specific questions. Like, again, it wasn't asked in a way that I showed that I was personally interested in dating or anything like that, because I'm not. But and that's what I think made him feel uncomfortable, because why am I asking if I'm not trying to date him? But and you got to forgive me, my leg hit something over here, so I need to fix something. um this is the second time I'm trying to do this. This is so crazy. All right. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I'm good. So, anyhow, so then he's just like, well, why are you asking me those types of questions? Started creeping him out. So I said the same reason that anyone asks any questions, I suppose. I always ask permission and advise they will be asked quiz style, and they will include some very odd questions which will require very specific and honest answers. At any time, if you are uncomfortable or no longer want to participate, just text stop, capital letters, and no further questions will follow. At this time, is it okay to continue or not? And then he's like, who is this? Because again, he's getting weirded out. But and and then at that point, I think I went to Kick, and I was just like, hey, my account has been hacked. This is me. If again, but to let him know that the question part was me. If you are uncomfortable, don't want any more questions, just let me know, and I won't ask you anymore. He was like, I don't want any more questions, and I was like, okay. And so at that point, I blocked the Kick, because there's no reason for me to talk to him anymore. I didn't send him any more messages because I don't have any reason to talk to him. That was the only purpose of me talking to him. So, like I said, today I go back to check the Kick, and on the Kick there's some more things in Spanish after I changed the passwords. And so I sent him a message this morning, and I did get permission from him when I first got his number, what's the time restrictions on texting or whatever. And I was like, and he was like, oh, anytime. And I was like, no, I'm serious, because it might be 3 o'clock in the morning and I might want to share something. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, I'm up. And so this morning I sent him this, because I wanted to make it clear I was not trying to talk to him or nothing. I would just put, after I saw the messages, and I'll share them with you. I have no reason to text, email, or communicate with you about anything going forward. If you receive anything after this text from this number, it is not me. Please do not send anything else to this number. It has apparently been hacked. You continuing to send communications to this number is making an issue. Please stop. Thanks. I will be sending this to Kick too, but other than that, I have no further reason to communicate with you. And then I said,